The trial is over. Here's your hand out. Thank you. Well, what was the verdict? When do I get out of here? The verdict was death. Death? You gotta be kidding me. For what? What you think is wisdom? Well, I'll take it all back. Call him in here. I'll renounce everything. Let's get out of here. Let's go get some Chinese food. That's not the truth. You drank the... So what? It's poisonous. It is? Since when? Didn't you know hemlock is poisonous? I do now. Look. What is truth? What is justice? I never learned details. I don't know what is poisonous and what is not poisonous. The kind of thing that irritates me about you guys. Oh. All right. I'm going to die. Oh, what? When's this stuff take effect? 2, 3 years? 2 minutes? What a lousy day is this. All right. You gotta live there, you're going to die. You know what's going to happen? You guys are gonna go out, and you'll have dinner, and you'll sit and stare at each other. I was the only one who ever talked in this whole group. It was always Socrates, what is truth? Socrates, what is the nature of the good? Socrates, what should I order? Socrates, what are you having? And not once did anyone ever say, Socrates, hemlock is poison.
This is comedy, by the way.
How did I do that? What? Make your body like rubber.
This was made in the 60s, so, you know, drugs and things. Especially the cookies reference.
No. I could eat 1,000 chocolate chip cookies like that. I'm okay. I feel better. Must have been just a passing. Leno, come to me. Yes, Master.
I love the birds.
What did he say? He said, "Come, Mr. Tallyman, tally me banana. Daylight come, and me want to go home."
none of that follows the actual chain of events, of course. That's just... Oh, there it is. What day is today? The 24th? So we're going to focus today on Plato and Idealism, two readings you might have hopefully already looked at least a little. The Meno, I picked, is one, and the other is the Republic. I should explain that, remember, Plato is the author of all of these, even though Socrates is always the main character. Nonetheless, we assume, or everybody assumes that there's roughly 3 periods in Plato's writings. The first period they consider, of course, the early period. And the early period you could tell primarily because the character of Socrates is very ass-holy. Annoys the heck out of everyone. Just like in the Euthyphro, for example, where Euthyphro is furious, walks off, and no real answers come out of that. So it seems like the early dialogues depict Socrates the way he's probably was, so closer to his real character. And I think if you look at the other apology. Oops, I misspelled it, but there it is. So the other one, there's at least 2 versions of the apology, and they're pretty similar. So the other one is Xenophon. We don't use it very often. I don't know why. But I suppose the main reason is we're mostly focused on Plato as the main philosopher of this whole business. And what makes Plato so special is the second period. So the middle period of the dialogues. And that's where all of a sudden Socrates now, as a character, becomes, like he is in the Meno, the one who, as Steve Martin was saying, he's the one that always did all the talking. Everyone else is just sitting there staring at one another. And Socrates is coming up with all these marvelous answers, for everything. And people are just, wow, Socrates, that's terrific. What a wonderful idea, Socrates, etc., etc. Very boring. You lose that nastiness that you see in the early period. And so what's happening apparently is now Plato is using Socrates in these dialogues in order to express his opinion, to teach his philosophy. So the middle dialogues, we're getting Plato's philosophy, with Socrates as the character used to kind of bring this stuff out. Right? And the main thing, of course, is idealism. And so we think of Plato as the idealist. And by the way, we'll see Aristotle is the realist. So these are really kind of the two pillars that all of the history of philosophy bounce back and forth between. Practically everyone else is somewhere in the middle between the two, right? And idealism, remember we were talking about Eric Havelock and the idea that the muse has learned to write, focusing on prose instead of poetry and writing it down. You end up needing definitions for these things. You begin wondering what these different words that we use, like virtue, justice, etc., all the kinds of things that Steve Martin, aka Socrates, mentions, right? Lots of these definitional things, very abstract concepts. And Plato, unlike Socrates, feels that there is a specific meaning to each of these, and that we have trouble finding them. And the reason we have trouble finding them in this life is because we're burdened by the body. Our body screws us up. By the way, for Plato, we're not a body with a soul. It's much more like C.S. Lewis points out, we're a soul with a body. So the main thing for us is our soul. Remember, Socrates in the Apology thinks he's pretty safe. They can't really harm me. They can do all sorts of nasty things to my body, like kill it and so on. But my soul is protected, because they can't touch my soul. So there's a soul concept. By the way, my quiz question for you guys today, I think I have it on this page, is, do you have a soul? That's not this one. Somewhere in here I should have the question, do you have a soul? And what is it? The Greek for soul is psyche, or psyche, or suche. I've heard it lots of different ways. In any case, so it would be psi, right? That's why they have the psi there. By the way, that's of course the first part of the word psychology. So literally, psychology, philosophy is the study of the love of wisdom. Psychology is the study of the soul. The ending logos basically means the study of, or the order of. So theology, the study of theos, which is God. Sociology is a screwed up word because Auguste Comte invented it and mixed Latin and Greek. You're not supposed to do that. So ology is the Greek ending, as you see in lots of the sciences, but socio is Latin for polis, which is the Greek polity. So it's a weird word, but you're not. When you combine a word, you're supposed to use roots from both a language rather than mix and match. It's just one of those funny things. But psychology, the study of the soul. So quiz question I have, I might have to have a variant on this today, is do you have a soul? And if you do, what do you mean by it, or what is it? How many folks are fans of Harry Potter? I hate asking this because more and more people hate Harry Potter. No, the soul plays such a weird thing in the Harry Potter series. It's much more